Angel Reese picking up right where she left off, breaking more WNBA records, but unfortunately for Sky fans, it came in the form of a loss, 99-74.
Angel Reese just made WNBA history, though probably not the kind she was hoping for. In a game against the New York Liberty, the Chicago Sky forward went 0 for 8 from the field, failing to score a single basket. It marked the most painfully unforgettable and undeniably hilarious performance of her professional career so far.
Well, it may be time for Angel Reese to consider taking up a different game. Tiddlywinks, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what game she wants to possibly take up. I know one thing, she can't wait for the Unrivaled season to start at this point.
Guess what? It wasn't just Angel Reese. The entire Chicago Sky squad had a night to forget. We've got the jaw-dropping stat that marks this as the worst start in WNBA history. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever made a strong comeback with a statement victory.
The Chicago Sky, you're seeing that right. 9 points in the second quarter. 9 points. Folks, if a team scores less points than you have fingers, that's bad.
You know what happens when a pro basketball player can't hit a single shot from the field? You get Angel Reese's performance against the Liberty. Actually, let's be honest, you get Angel Reese on a regular night. In this particular meltdown, she went 0 for 8 from the floor and scraped together just 2 points from free throws. That's right, 2 points. From a player who averaged 13.6 per game as a rookie.
Angel Reese, part 33! Let's get it!
Only lost by 25 this time!
Bang!
That stuffer coming hot with the stats. She went 0 of 8, 5 turnovers, and she got 1 hit stick.
Bang!
She had 12 rebounds. 8 of them were the me-bounds, if you know what I'm saying. All right, let's get it going. How about it?
Bang!
Again, there's another me-bound. Let's do it again.
Bang!
Another me-bound. Do it again.
Bang!
Another me-bound. One more time.
Bang!
Wait, you're allowed to pass the ball?
The breakdown of what went wrong honestly reads like a comedy sketch. During one brutal possession, Angel Reese missed 4 straight shots right under the rim, grabbing her own rebound each time. Picture it. She gets the board, puts it back up, misses, grabs it again, misses, and again, and again. It was a loop so painful, even the most loyal Sky fans were questioning reality. The viral clip of the sequence had basketball fans all over social media, wondering if Reese had forgotten the most basic rule of the game: how to put the ball in the hoop.
Don't tell her when you travel, you need your real ID now!
Bang!
Free throws ain't free!
Bang! Again! Bang!
All right, brother, who at the zoo is responsible for letting the giraffes out of their habitat? How many steps was that? Traveling!
Bang!
Does a fly and Angel Reese have in common? They both get swatted.
Bang!
Green company reached out. They said, I want to sponsor you. I said, you don't have my flavor. They said, what's your flavor? I said, butter pecan.
Bang!
He's shooting 23% from less than 5 feet from the basket. 4 of 17 from right there.
What?
Throws are fundamentals.
Bang!
What did she do in the offseason?
Bang!
These weren't tough, contested shots with defenders in her face. Angel Reese had wide-open looks right under the basket. The kind high school players are expected to sink without a second thought. The kind that make coaches yell at their TVs because missing them just doesn't make sense. And yet, Reese managed to miss every single one in impressively creative fashion.
And it was Angel Reese setting women's basketball back 30,000 years at this point. I mean, truly. I mean, I would say back to the age of T-Rex, but she does get rebounds, so she can't actually rebound the ball. What she cannot do is shoot the ball at all. And the same woes from last year are back, but I'm going to point something out.
But Reese's struggles didn't stop at just shooting. She also committed 5 turnovers, throwing a wrench into any rhythm the Sky tried to build. Every time Chicago gained a sliver of momentum, Reese would either blow an easy shot or lose the ball at a crucial moment. Her body language said it all. frustration mounting with every miss until it finally boiled over with a technical foul for arguing with an official.
And another loose ball foul. They're going to give it to Angel. And this one might be challenged. We'll have to see. And Angel Reese, I think, just got slapped with a tech.
This showing ranks among the worst individual shooting nights in WNBA history, especially when you factor in the sheer number of missed gimmies. Even defense-first players usually manage to put something on the board. Going 0 for 8 is rare and nearly unheard of when half those attempts come from point-blank range.
Okay, so now we've got a person standing in a room with a spotlight on them every time they play basketball, and the basketball is not good on top of it. It wasn't good beforehand, but guys, 26 minutes, almost 20, let's just call it 27 minutes. When you're at 26:56, we're calling it 27 minutes. 0 from 8 for the field. 8 offensive rebounds. Don't worry, we'll get to the video. 12 rebounds, 5 turnovers, 2 points.
The most embarrassing part? Despite grabbing 12 rebounds, 8 of them offensive, no one's talking about those numbers. Because when you shoot 0% from the field and finish with just 2 points, your rebounding stats don't matter. After the game, Reese tried to stay upbeat, saying she was staying poised and focused on the next shot. But this wasn't just a bad shooting night. This was the kind of disaster that fuels low-light reels and stays on forever in social media infamy. When a pro athlete makes history for being this ineffective on offense, it's clear something went seriously wrong.
That's bad. If a team scores less points than the amount of fingers you have, that is a serious issue. But Tyler Marsh, salute to you. Salute to you. You are going to ride out with this Angel Reese point forward nonsense. I most thoroughly appreciate your contribution to the WNBA. Thank you, Tyler Marsh. Thank you.
Individual struggles are one thing, but when an entire team collapses, you get a new low in WNBA history. The Chicago Sky managed to do what no team has done before: open their season with a staggering negative 60-point differential across just 2 games. Let that sink in. 60 points. They were blown out 93-58 by Indiana, then crushed 99-74 by New York. This isn't just bad basketball. This is historically awful basketball.
What record did Angel Reese break? I didn't say it was a good record. I never said that. Shout out to you, Priceless. I missed this. Historically bad shootings with a E emoji. Angel Reese goes 0 for 7 from within 4 feet of the basket to tie most misses from that distance in the WNBA over the past 10 seasons. This must be a Caitlin Clark fan at ESPN. Surely nobody who follows the ESPN playbook and narrative will write this. This had to have been a darn Caitlin Clark fan. Historically bad.
The Liberty didn't just beat Chicago. They dismantled them while making WNBA history of their own. New York sank an incredible 19 three-pointers, setting a new league record for the most threes in a single game. 19. The Sky's defense was so out of sync, Liberty shooters were getting wide-open looks from every spot on the floor. When professional players are hitting threes that effortlessly, it's not just a hot night, it's a sign your entire defensive game plan has collapsed.
I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have. But it is what it is, and I think that we are all benefiting from the effects that she's had on the game, and I just appreciate the way she shows up.
It's not every day in women's basketball that a Hall of Famer steps onto a podcast and delivers more truth than a finals post-game interview. But that's exactly what Lisa Leslie did when she recently came to Caitlin Clark's defense. What followed was nothing short of a masterclass in grace, perspective, and yes, a subtle but powerful takedown of Angel Reese on her very own show. Thousands were tuned in, and Reese got an up-close look at what will likely go down as one of the most graceful clapbacks in podcast history.
Going into my season 2, what's some advice that you would give for me?
Season 2, I can't wait to work with you some more. The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period.
While the internet has been blowing up over the Clark versus Reese drama, with fans treating it like a Marvel-style rivalry, Lisa Leslie stepped in and played a whole different game. She didn't take sides. She raised the level of the conversation. One day, she's praising Caitlin Clark for her influence on the league. The next, she's offering Angel Reese the kind of mentorship you won't find in any practice session. It wasn't about rivalry, it was about growth. And let's face it, someone had to say it.
But she literally got called out for missing layups. I mean, on her own damn show.
Let's rewind for a second. For months, it's felt like Caitlin Clark couldn't catch a breath without some WNBA veteran tossing a passive-aggressive remark or shooting her a side-eye. Between jealousy-fueled tweets and literal body checks on the court, it was obvious some in the league weren't exactly rolling out the welcome mat. So when Lisa Leslie, one of the WNBA's original legends, stepped in and said, "Actually, Caitlin's doing everything right," it landed like a buzzer-beater game winner.
You want to see more WNBA people saying this, and it's just so obvious.
This wasn't just any random take. This was Lisa Leslie, one of the architects of the WNBA, a pioneer who threw down dunks before they were the norm, and someone who understands firsthand what it means to elevate a league. So when she says Caitlin Clark is the real deal, the basketball world pays attention.
We have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game.
Lisa didn't just say Caitlin Clark was talented. She emphasized the how, not just the numbers. She pointed to Clark's humility, her genuine appreciation for the trailblazers who paved the way. In a league where some hacked like they invented the crossover, Clark's deep respect for the game's history stood out, and Lisa made sure everyone heard it. Her message was clear. Are you even paying attention? While some gripe about screen time, Caitlin is out here honoring the pioneers who built the stage.
Listen, she's a competitor. She's a trash talker. She makes players around her better. She's exciting to watch. And quite frankly, I've missed seeing her. Being at Unrivaled, she was there. Like, I've missed seeing her play. So I really look forward to seeing her back out there. But as I do all of the WNBA players, like, we are really watching a very exciting level of basketball.
But let's get to the real moment. The game-changing pivot that turned heads. Lisa Leslie didn't just defend from a distance. She stepped right into the conversation, face-to-face with Angel Reese on her own podcast, a space where Reese controlled the mic and the final cut. Leslie didn't hold back. She went full truth-teller mode, looked Reese straight in the eye, and called out the glaring issue, those missed layups.
The biggest advice I have for you is going to be how you shoot your layups, period. Like, we're going to fix that. Yeah. That's fixable for you. And I think that's probably the biggest. I think your shot from the outside is improving. I love that your ball handling is good. Your defense is improved.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the setup. You bring a legend onto your show, expecting some nostalgia, a few laughs, maybe a feel-good girl power conversation. Instead, your struggles at the rim get put on blast for thousands to hear. It wasn't harsh. It wasn't petty. It was raw honesty. And truthfully, it was the kind of tough love coaching moment Reese might not get anywhere else.
Where she literally needs to put up like 300 shots a day. And I'm not kidding. Like 200 or 300 shots a day, and that's missed layups. She's 6'3" or 6'4", can't hit a layup to save her life. And literal videos have went mega viral of just her missing layups in games.
Lisa didn't tear Reese down. She built her up. That's what makes Leslie such a force. She didn't humiliate Angel. She challenged her, the way a Hall of Famer would take a struggling rookie aside and say, Here's what needs to change if you want to be great.
You got to go out there and prove yourselves. And listen, are we going to get upset about 5, 6, 10 games less on television or not? I don't think we should. We have access to find these games now in a way that we never had before. And we have to appreciate that, and all these platforms that support the W.
Lisa understands something many overlook. When the stars rise, everyone wins. And Caitlin Clark? She's not just rising, she's skyrocketing. Leslie made it clear that Clark's spotlight isn't a threat to veterans. It's a rising tide. More attention on the league means bigger paychecks, packed arenas, and a future where both rookies and veterans get what they're worth. She didn't shy away from the controversy around Clark's screen time. She tackled it head on.
Stephen A. Smith had a very interesting discourse with Fee recently over the number of games the Fever broadcasted this season compared to other teams who have also got stars on them. So curious what you make of W's decision to lean into highlighting its stars.
While players like Reese and others grumbled about how often Clark's team gets the national spotlight, Lisa Leslie broke it down like a professor. When one of us eats, we all eat. In other words, instead of complaining about TV time, they should be thanking Clark for bringing more eyes and more opportunity to the league.
I think it's all about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect called the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games?
Remember when some players, and even ESPN, tried to downplay Caitlin Clark's dominance at Iowa just because she didn't win a national title?
I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's tough because you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine, so it's hard.
Well, Lisa Leslie wasn't having any of that either. She shut it down, plain and simple.
Curious if you think winning an NCAA championship is needed for that eventual GOAT conversation, greatest of all time status.
Absolutely not. I didn't win an NCAA championship. I was National Player of the Year. I won all of the individual awards, but sometimes, you know, it's very hard to win a national championship, regardless of how much people talk about it, like, oh, you have to have it. It is one of the hardest things to do in a tournament where you have so many games and you're trying to get there. So yeah, shout out to all of the players who were able to win national championships, but it doesn't make a player who didn't win a national championship any less of an amazing individual player.
Then came the mic drop moment. Lisa Leslie said, Clark deserves this, all of it. The attention, the endorsements, the hype, because she's changing the game. And when those words come from someone who changed the game herself, it's not just praise, it's a passing of the torch.
Hey, listen, Caitlin, I am so thankful for her. I'm thankful for all of these women and where this game is, and we have to step back and see the big picture and how it's impacting all of us.
So what did we witness? It wasn't just a defense of Caitlin Clark or a critique of Angel Reese. It was a lesson in leadership from one of the game's all-time greats. Lisa Leslie showed us how it's done. You lift others up, you correct when necessary, and most importantly, you speak the truth, even when it's uncomfortable and even when it's on someone else's mic. Because at the end of the day, Lisa Leslie isn't here to play favorites. She's here to elevate the game. And Caitlin Clark? She's proving every day that she's not just a media sensation, she's the future Lisa Leslie's been waiting for.
Brianna Turner has signed with the Indiana Fever per the WNBA transition page. Some depth for the Fever front court. She played for, again, I believe she played for Chicago.
Angel Reese is not handling this well. The moment Brianna Turner turned down the Chicago sky and linked up with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever instead, Reese was already in her feelings. And, of course, she made sure everyone knew it. "Oh, so this is what we're doing now?" she said, trying to sound playful. But that side-eye and that fake little laugh told the real story. You could practically hear the salt in her voice. Guess loyalty's got an expiration date like some old milk. Classic Angel, always turning everything into a moment. But behind the jokes, you know it stung. And WNBA Twitter, they gobbled it up like free popcorn at a game.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
This wasn't just another free agent making a choice. This was Brianna Turner, all WNBA defensive first team, a proven veteran, someone who could have been the stabilizing force the shaky sky desperately needed, choosing to straight up ditch Chicago and put Angel Reese in her place by heading to Indiana. Turner literally took a pay cut to sign with the Fever, passing up a bigger deal with Chicago, who had the cap space to offer more. And when you're Angel Reese, still out here trying to convince everyone you're the face of the league, but watching players you need to stay with you go play for your so-called rival? Yeah, that hits different. And let's be real, there is no rivalry except in Reese's head.
WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, you know, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from that. And so this year, the focus really has to be on getting players in who are going to bridge that gap between this season and next.
Reese tried to play it cool with the usual social media act, but you could see the cracks starting to show. Wow, just wow, she tweeted. Short, simple, but we all knew what it really meant. Translation, she was heated. And honestly, who could blame her? First, A'ja Wilson had to watch the Fever assemble what looked like an Avengers-level squad. And now, Angel Reese was getting hit with the same reality. It was like every top-tier free agent looked at Chicago, then at Indiana, and thought, yeah, I'm good. I'll go hoop with Caitlin.
So, in a kind of a surprising turn of events, the Indiana Fever have made yet another move this offseason, and they have signed Bree Turner to the roster.
Meanwhile, over in Indiana, it was all about celebration. Brianna Turner was welcomed with open arms. Aaliyah Boston, as cool as ever, dropped a tweet. Let's hoop. Short and sweet, but oozing the kind of confidence that screams, we know exactly what we're building here. And Sophie Cunningham? You know she was somewhere grinning from ear to ear, probably already imagining the moment she gets to clap back at Angel Reese on the court after a hard foul. This Fever team isn't just stacking talent. They're building chemistry before they've even set foot in the gym.
These are the pieces that Stephanie White and Amber Cox is going after. They're going after ready elite talent, kind of, you know, they know their responsibility. They know what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have to do a whole lot of coaching like that, teaching plug-and-play pieces and women that are going to come in and make immediate impact. That's what you want to see from this basketball team. That's what you see from elite teams across the league.
But here's the thing. This goes beyond just a player choosing a team. This is a shift. The WNBA isn't just growing, it's evolving into a spectacle. Players are waking up to the fact that Indiana is the new place to be. And for Angel Reese, it's starting to look like a nightmare. While she's out here trying to sell us on the idea that Chicago's got next, her teammates, and potential teammates, are quietly saying, nah, we're good.
So, lads, this is not great news, you know, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, look, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is they don't own their pick. So if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
The offseason's barely started, and it already feels like the Fever won free agency. Angel Reese might need to start recruiting soon, but there's one problem. All the stars are taken. Social media was buzzing with bold takes. Y'all can keep Angel Reese and her missed layups. We've got Caitlin Clark. The disrespect, loud, ruthless, and honestly, kind of earned. What was Chicago's comeback supposed to be? The Sky's free agency tracker looked more like a missing persons report. Marina Mabrey left mid-season, Kennedy Carter wasn't re-signed, and Diamond DeShields chose Connecticut over Chicago. Now it's just Reese and Camila Cardoso left from their starting lineup. Sky fans were scrolling, wondering, wait, who did we even get? While teams like New York flexed their super team status and the Aces kept their dynasty core, Chicago looked like they were assembling a junior varsity squad.
Fever, it is funny that all these people who hated the Indiana Fever last year is finally coming around to sign with the team. Go figure. Now, I don't know the whole initial thing about this signing, maybe for depth, defensive purposes, but it is funny to see how what a year make when the Indiana Fever is one of the, not one, but is the top team.
The pain was real. Every time Fever fans posted a lineup graphic, Sky fans had to close the app just to save their sanity. Because what could they even say? Trust the process? That's fine for NBA Twitter, but this is the WNBA. You either build the right way or get left behind. And right now, Chicago looked like they were about to get lapped.
Indiana Fever are officially title contenders. Every day they have something new for us in free agency. And today, it's Miss DeWanna Bonner. 6-time WNBA All-Star and WNBA champ, a veteran in this game, can pretty much do it all, also an enforcer, nasty defense. Should I continue? We have a new starting five. Caitlin at the 1, Kelsey at the 2, DeWanna at the 3, Natasha Howard at the 4, and Aaliyah Boston at the 5.
Of course, Angel Reese wasn't about to let her pride take that hit without a fight. She went straight into the underdog speech, the one we've all heard. I thrive when people doubt me, she said. And sure, maybe she does. Maybe she'll come out next season ready to bulldoze every defender in her way. But let's be real. Thriving off doubt is great for an individual, but basketball is a team sport. And right now, her team looks like they're one rolled ankle away from disaster.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
While Reese is busy talking about proving people wrong, Indiana's out here making moves like they've got a personal vendetta against the whole league. Fever GM Amber Cox and head coach Stephanie White didn't just see potential in Caitlin Clark. They saw a championship window wide open, and they're diving through it head first. No more, we're rebuilding. No more, give it time. This team is built to win now, and every move they've made this offseason proves it.
What Steph White is doing and what the Fever organization is doing is nothing less than phenomenal, in my opinion. They are taking this young, talented core that they have, you know, with Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, and they're adding veteran players that Stephanie White has already worked with. Let's talk about that too, and has chemistry with and knows the work ethic of. And they are building this super team, make no mistake about it, that is going to give you instant results.
Natasha Howard isn't just a veteran. She's a champion, a defensive powerhouse who can still drop 20 any night. DeWanna Bonner is a walking bucket and a proven leader who thrives when the pressure's on. Brianna Turner? She's an elite defender, locking down the paint and making sure no one gets easy points. Sophie Cunningham brings the edge, the shooting, and the attitude, exactly what you need when the playoffs get gritty. And Sydney Colson? She's more than just good vibes. She's a seasoned guard who knows how to run an offense and steady the ship when things get chaotic. And here's the kicker. They did all of this without touching their Fab Four of Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hull. Together, this isn't just a team, it's an army. Every role is covered: leadership, defense, scoring, depth, and most importantly, chemistry. Caitlin Clark doesn't have to do it all on her own. She's got a squad that's ready to handle business.
Breaking news came down, so we have to discuss it. This is what we do here. We're talking about the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're Thanos right now and they're collecting all the Infinity Stones.
Don't forget, Aaliyah Boston is still here. While everyone's focused on Caitlin Clark, Boston's already an all-star and one of the most dominant young bigs in the league. Pair her with Brianna Turner and Natasha Howard, and you've got a defensive wall. Good luck driving into that paint. With DeWanna Bonner and Sophie Cunningham, Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull get cleaner looks on offense. Stephanie White isn't just collecting talent, she's building a team that fits. Everyone on this roster complements Caitlin Clark, stretching the floor, defending, moving without the ball, everything she needs to thrive. If teams thought trapping Clark at the logo was tough last season, wait until she's got Mitchell or Bonner cutting, Hull or Cunningham spacing, and Boston, Turner, or Howard punishing inside.
Sydney Colson is a two-time WNBA champion, a true vet, an amazing backup point guard. And anytime that CC or any of the guards need to go to the bench, I mean, Sydney Colson always makes the right call, always makes the right decision. So to pick up a vet, a professional like Sydney Colson, and then you also have a vet like DeWanna Bonner, and you also have a vet like Kelsey Mitchell, and then you have CC and Aaliyah Boston and Lexi.
The rest of the WNBA thought they had time, thought Indiana needed a season or two to figure it out. Wrong. The Fever just hit fast forward on their rebuild. They're not waiting. They're coming now. And for teams like Chicago, that's terrifying. If this team clicks the way it looks on paper, they're not just making the playoffs. They're making a run.
Just trying to give myself some grace because I know I'm not the player that I want to be just yet, but also kind of patting myself on the back, telling myself that I'm still doing great.
Angel Reese can preach underdog mentality all she wants, but that won't win games when Caitlin Clark's draining threes from the logo and Aaliyah Boston's sending shots into the third row. Chicago might think they can figure it out as they go, but the Fever aren't leaving anything to chance. They've built a team that's ready to win from day one, and that's what's really driving Angel Reese crazy. It's not just Brianna Turner leaving, it's the realization that Indiana is everything Chicago wanted to be. A young core, respected vets, and a front office making smart moves. The Fever are setting the standard, while the Sky? They're just hoping Angel Reese can talk them into relevance.
The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory.
And going in on the Chicago Sky.
They're not going to be pushed around anymore. Even in the midst of all the talk yesterday, you have a Sophie Cunningham, you have a Natasha Howard, and you have a DeWanna Bonner. There's a level of credibility. There's a level of toughness.
Caitlin Clark, in the post-game interview, she made it a point to say, this is not please don't blow this out of proportion.
The entire WNBA seemed to freeze in time this weekend. The Indiana Fever had just secured a defining victory, but the real fireworks came when DeWanna Bonner grabbed the figurative mic and set social media ablaze, putting Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky firmly in their place.
She currently funked herself with Charlotte Webb after she shared a post last night of pretty much somebody congratulating her and going in on the Chicago Sky.
Right in the heart of the storm, Angel Reese was catching strays and sharp glances, while Caitlin Clark soaked it all in with that trademark cool. Bonner wasn't holding back. She brought the sass, stirred the tea, and spilled it across the court with the kind of razor-sharp precision only a seasoned vet with receipts could pull off.
Angel Reese, part 32. Let's get it. This ain't LeBron. This is butter pecan. Burn! They want to put her at point forward this season. They want her making plays because she a playmaker. Burn! That Angel Reese hit a buzzer beater. You gotta check this out. 3, 2, 1.
Who cares they lost by 35 points? At least she got her 17 rebounds.
Hey, Ma, you got a receipt for this Barbie? I think this one's broken. Send it back.
What began as a standard post-game presser quickly spiraled into a full-blown roast session. And no, the Fever's win wasn't the grand finale, it was just the trailer. The real main event? Bonner calling out Reese and the Sky live and unfiltered. This wasn't just basketball, it was reality TV with a shot clock. And trust, the reruns are going to slap differently.
They make it a hate thing. Like, they make it a hate train. It's like, no. I'm telling you, if I was the coach or the owner, we forfeit in every game. Either we forfeit or Angel will not be in attendance.
Angel Reese fans is calling race, like they're sparking a race war on Twitter right now, and it's starting to get national attention. They're attacking white fans, black fans.
From the opening whistle, the energy in the arena was electric. The air crackled with anticipation, and the Fever stormed out like they were done listening to the doubters. Fast, fierce, and flawlessly precise.
For good position.
Clark pulls deep one left wing. Caitlin Clark is her.
Natasha Howard able to lay it in. To Boston, her jumper is good.
I think we have a group that's much like the Pacers. We've got a lot of great balance.
Still on the bounce. 3 seconds to go in the half. Caitlin, left wing, off balance, three. Got it! Caitlin connects ahead of the halftime buzzer. She is 1 of 1.
Every touch of the ball sent a message. And Caitlin Clark? She didn't just run the offense. She orchestrated a masterpiece. But the real plot twist? Indiana didn't just keep pace with the Sky, they controlled the narrative from start to finish. And DeWanna Bonner? She played like this game had been circled, starred, and marked with revenge in bold, all caps.
DeWanna Bonner, man, Indiana Fever on, became the third all-time WNBA leading scorer in history.
Caitlin Clark looks like she's going to be the MVP of the league. Angel Reese made a fool out of herself, and we won by 100, and I won. So we're back in the good mode, back in the winning. Yesterday was tough with the Celtics, but we're back, baby, and it all starts with who? CC, 22, Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese came in with her signature swagger. Big talk, bold moves. But this time, she ran into a different kind of heat. No noise, no theatrics. Just ruthless, ice-cold execution. Indiana shut her down like a rumor past its prime. Yeah, she got her double-double, but it felt more like filler than headline. This night belonged to the Fever, and you could feel the power shift in real time. Bonner and Clark didn't just clock in, they took over. And with every step, they sent a clear message to Angel in the Sky. This isn't your house.
She had as much passion for basketball as she did for her hate for Caitlin Clark. Gonna get up, scream in her face. You know, you should be thanking her, because you would have missed another wide open layup. They say, but don't lie. Oh, she gonna cry. Wah, wah, 35% from the field. Trash. She had 5 turnovers. Trash! There are living human beings that breathe, that enjoy this kind of basketball. To the psych ward you go! Burn! It's like driving by a car wreck. I can't help myself. I can't stop watching!
As the game went on, the spotlight didn't stay on Reese because she was dominating. It stayed because she was unraveling. That trademark confidence? It started to splinter. Every awkward drive, every missed chance chipped away at the shine. The fans saw it, her teammates felt it, and Bonner? She didn't just see the cracks, she thrived on them. She turned everyone into fuel.
Much like Donnie Carr, Angel Reese relies on the dramatics to generate attention, because just like Donnie, she can't maintain attention based on skill. And the attention-seeking behavior, it started immediately yesterday as Angel Reese and the Chicago Bravado decided that they were going to disrespect the country by refusing to come out for the national anthem. She immediately loses her temper. She could not believe Caitlin Clark stole her moment. Angel Reese gets off the ground very slowly, because everyone seems to be moving in slow motion in the WNBA.
The Angel Reese fan base is full of toxicity right now because they is extremely embarrassed that Angel Reese came to Indiana and laid a goose egg.
It stopped feeling like a game and started reading like a message board. The moment? Bonner ripping the ball from Reese like a pickpocket in Times Square. She glided in for the layup. No grin, no fist pump, just a stare that sliced through Reese like glass. Cold, clinical, legendary. Then came the post-game post, effortlessly flaunting her performance while lacing in a bit of digital shade for Reese and the crew. The timeline didn't just light up, it exploded.
Bonner, who knocks it away. Cookies, DB, open court, right side, and she lays it in.
Reese was left gathering the emotional fragments, no longer in control of the storyline. The spotlight had shifted off her box score and squarely onto Bonner's message. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement carved in bold. A veteran didn't just show up. She took the stage and marked her territory in permanent ink.
One more free throw for Bonner. It's in the air, and it's good. DeWanna Bonner now third in WNBA history in scoring. 7,489 points and counting.
And here's the ovation for Bonner.
Reese strutted into the arena like she was writing the script. But from the jump, it was clear. This was a pressure cooker. Every touch brought bodies. Every dribble triggered traps. The Indiana crowd, ruthless. Bonner, even worse. There was no space, no flow, just unrelenting personal feud-level intensity. It felt like the Fever had one mission, erase her from her own highlight reel. Bonner didn't just defend, she composed the entire shutdown. And Clark? She was the calm conductor, dialing up plays while the sky looked like they were stuck in a time warp. What read like a matchup on paper turned into a live clinic in dominance. Reese fought back, snatching boards, chasing loose balls, clawing for momentum like a contestant on a rigged game show. But something was off, and everyone felt it.
You don't get told no. Like, you're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
Imagine Angel Reese gripping the microphone, boldly announcing on her podcast her vision of assembling a powerhouse team in Chicago. Fast forward to today, and the Sky locker room is eerily silent, filled only with the sounds of crickets. Not a single top free agent has responded to her call, as the season's elite players are signing elsewhere. It's clear that Chicago's allure isn't as magnetic as Reese had hoped. But what went wrong?
WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, you know, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from that. And so this year, the focus really has to be on getting players in who are going to bridge that gap between this season and next.
Could it be the turmoil within the front office that's driving potential stars away? Or perhaps the facilities, which look more like a high school gymnasium than a top-tier professional arena? Maybe teaming up with the self-proclaimed superstar isn't the allure it was promised to be. Not a single all-star is making their way to the Windy City. Is this the ultimate thanks, but no thanks response to Reese's recruitment push? Let's dissect this free agency debacle and explore whether Angel's once gleaming reputation is beginning to tarnish. Ready to dive in? Let's go!
The whole city is obsessed with you.
I know. I love it
all
here.
the time.
It feels like Baltimore here. I love it here.
It does. Kind of. A little bit. A little DMV action. Yeah. But you know, Chicago is a #3 market in the country.
Really?
It's New York, LA, and then Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, y'all have everything. I'm not gonna lie, y'all have everything here. Like, it's nothing here that I'm like, oh, I gotta go to a different city for it. Like, everything has been here. Which I love.
Remember when Angel Reese confidently declared her intention to build a superstar team in Chicago? Well, the free agency season has just kicked off, and the Windy City is quieter than ever, with crickets chirping in the background. Picture this. Angel, phone in hand, tirelessly scrolling through her contacts, sending one text after another, making call after call, and even sliding into Instagram DMs. But the reaction? Complete radio silence.
Like Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso too have brought relevance to this team that they've desperately needed in a time when, again, if not for them, they'd be completely irrelevant because of the product that they're putting on the floor.
And also make Chicago an attractive spot when you have Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso right there, two bigs that really shined in their rookie season.
Given the abundance of elite talent on the market this offseason, you'd expect at least one all-star to be eager to join Chicago. Unfortunately, that's not the case. As time passed, the quiet became almost overwhelming. No press events, no enthusiastic social media buzz, nothing. Angel is now left with an empty roster and a multitude of unanswered questions.
So, lads, this is not great news, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, look, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is they don't own their pick. So if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
Let's delve into the details. Top-tier talents like Kelsey Plum, Jewel Lloyd, Brittany Griner, Alyssa Thomas, and Kelsey Mitchell were all available this offseason. These are the elite players capable of transforming a franchise overnight. So, how many of them even gave Chicago a second thought? None. Zilch. Absolutely nothing. You might be thinking, is there still a glimmer of hope? Does Angel have a hidden trump card? A surprise signing that could turn the tide? However, as the dust settles and contracts are finalized across the league, one fact stands out. Not a single all-star free agent opted for Chicago. Angel's recruitment strategy didn't just miss the mark, it spectacularly backfired.
So, not a good day for the Chicago Sky. Not a good day at all, because we have heard news from the journalist who reports on the WNBA, and because she is not a homer like a lot of the other people, like normally journalists are complete homers for one team. One of the actual credible journalists reported on something. Sky fans aren't happy. They all want her fired.
Now, things take an even more intriguing turn. The Sky's front office isn't exactly easing the situation. Take Kennedy Carter, their top scorer. Did they even bother to extend her a qualifying offer? It appears they might be intentionally driving talent away. And let's not overlook those trade negotiations that led to nothing. It's almost as if the moment Angel's name was brought up, the front office decided to run for the hills.
Kennedy had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
What's the fallout for Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed luminary who was meant to be Chicago's Pied Piper, attracting a lineup of all-stars to the Windy City? It seems she might end up leading a solo march instead. Now, that's a tough pill to swallow. So, what exactly went wrong? Why did none of the top talents choose Chicago?
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? Their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
While Angel Reese was focused on building her dream team, the real excitement of free agency was unfolding elsewhere. Imagine a whirlwind of activity across the league as top-tier players made their moves, leaving Chicago in the shadows. Let's dive into the hot spots where the stars chose to shine instead.
WNBA, the Seattle Storm are sending Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces in a blockbuster 3-team trade that moves Kelsey Plum to the LA Sparks. That's according to ESPN. As part of the deal, Seattle receives the 2nd pick in this year's WNBA draft from LA in exchange for the Storm's number 9 pick, while the Aces also receive the 13th pick, a 2nd-round selection from the Sparks.
Take Kelsey Plum, for instance. Her lethal 3-point shooting was a key factor in Las Vegas clinching 2 championships. Now, she's bringing her talents to Los Angeles, making the Sparks a formidable force. So, why did she choose LA over Chicago? It's straightforward. The Sparks offer a winning culture, top-tier facilities, and a well-managed front office. Tough break, Angel. But the plot thickens with Jewel Lloyd. She had the opportunity to return to her hometown, Chicago. You'd think teaming up with Angel would be a dream scenario, right? Think again. Lloyd assessed the Sky's situation and decided against it, opting instead to join Las Vegas and collaborate with Aja Wilson. Ouch.